at all this food that has been donated by some local hunters. We have a coot, we have checker, rabbit, trimmed elk meat, we have a soft-billed duck, a flat-billed duck, and a swan. So all of these things are now going to be donated. I'm so excited. Thank you, local hunters. All right, here we go. This is how we start preparing it. You need to chop off the wings. There's no nutrients, it's just feathers, and it just wastes some storage space. So I like to make sure that the wings are trimmed off for that reason. Everything else is actually edible at this point. There's too many feathers. Again, they can't digest this. So I like to, just do them a little bit of an extra favor and just pluck 50% of them. The reason why their chamber will be a lot less messy. I mean, all this stuff needs to be cleaned up anyways, so might as well clean it up for them in the kitchen. All right, that is about enough of the feathers there. And so now I'll give Oki, he will eat. He only had 2 mice last night, so I know he's hungry. He'll probably eat maybe a quarter of this is what we'll give him, so that he can have a little bit before we go on a walk this afternoon. So I'll just kind of chop it down the middle. Sometimes the chopping knife doesn't get through, so you have to have backup hunting shears. So the hunting shears are great because you can break the skin with them, and it's a little safer. But the chopping knife is great for the wings and going through bone. So here. Okay, so this isn't actually very much meat. You can see a lot of it's just fur, even though it looks like a lot of mass. If you were to weigh that, that's actually not a lot, and it's basically just fat and fascia. So that would not be enough for him. He needs more, something more substantial. So we're gonna cut up actually the hind quarter here. This will be best for him. I think you'll find this super interesting. Owls in particular, so when they actually catch their prey, the first thing they eat is the head. And a lot of people don't know this, but they think the coyotes are the ones that kill a lot of the animals and just eat their head. It's actually the great horned owls. So when there's a surplus of food, they'll eat the head and leave the body for the other animals, like the wolves and coyotes and fox and other things that would eat the meat. And then we like to make sure that he gets an adequate diet of both everything. He needs the fur and he needs the roughage of bones. He needs everything. And in the wild, what he'd actually do, he'd eat the head, land on it, and they pluck off almost all the feathers. But there is quite a few still left on the bird, and that's what goes into their gizzard. Non-digestible, comes up the next day as a pellet. So they do pluck it off themselves, and he will continue to pluck some of it off. It's good for them. It's actually called a tiring. So they stand on it, and the way that they can pull and pluck with their beaks, it's good for them to get that exercise and energy out. So that's why I used to leave it on. All right, we're gonna wash up, and we are gonna go outside and actually give Oki his treat. Let's see how fast he eats it. If he eats it soon, that means he was really hungry. So he gets the leg of a coot. Okay. Oki! What I got for you? Got you some coot with the leg. It's kind of like the shish kebab. Hi. My favorite part of the day is when I get to see Oki. Hi! Hi! How are you doing? Hi! You not ready for touches? Look what I got for you. You want some? See? So when he smacks his beak up and down, he always does that when he notices a food. Like when I'm going to feed him a mouse, He always will snap his beak. That just means that he is excited and that he knows that it is food. So do you see that? Watch, see how he'll do it again. See? Do you see how he smacks his beak? See? It's cute, huh? All right, well, I'll just set it down here and he'll come back. Oh, look, this is his pellet. So this is exactly what, this was his 2 mice from the night before. They don't stink, but you can see here, since my fingers are already gross, please excuse the grossness, but you can see in here there's all the bones from the mice. In fact, there's a skull. Oh my gosh, what was that? Oh, maybe part of the turkey leg. I don't know. Look at that huge bone. See, they take a lot of bones down there. That's non-digestible. It has to come up every morning. That's so freaking cool. Yes, I will wash my hands. But bye, Oki. Enjoy your snack. We'll be back to get him after he eats and go for a walk. Bye, Oki. Next up is our little bunny. It's too much for one sitting, so it's best if we actually cut it with the hunting shears. And that way, when you defrost it, you only have to defrost what you need at the time, and it stays more fresh. So this is if I'm feeding it to Oki. If this is going to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, then in fact, I don't even need to cut it because it's going to a bigger breed of owls. So that will be just fine like that. All right, here I'm actually going to prepare a flat-billed duck. Here, you can see here, this was not breasted out. These are bottom feeders, so hunters do not like to eat this duck, but it's still super useful. And so all of this would normally be thrown in the garbage because humans don't eat it. So instead, we're preparing it for the birds of prey. Do you hear Oki outside? He's like excited. All right, you do that, and then I like to get 50% of the feathers off. These are really thickly like it's very, very dense. So in fact, they can't even digest the skin. So if the skin comes off, the owls can't digest that anyways. So we get off what we can, just makes cleaning up later a little easier. Look at all these feathers. There is a lot that comes off. They are so pretty. I actually love birds of prey's feathers. Look how pretty they are. But it still is unused, and we have a lot of cleanup when we do this. This is the 747 of birds. This big swan. I don't even know how am I going to fit it in the Ziploc bag, so we're going to for sure have to use the cleaver and the hunting shears and somehow break it down. I've seriously never done a bird this big, but I'm willing to try. Holy cow. I'm not freaking plucking this thing. They're getting a whole goose or swan. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna put this in a garbage bag and tie it up, and this will go to the whole breed of owls. They can just tear it apart, and actually it'll be so good for them. And the eagles as well. We're wanting to donate larger game like this on the hindquarters of the elk so they can actually tear at things that they would normally eat. So an owl can trap something up to 9 pounds, you guys. So this is over 9 pounds. This is what they would actually be able to catch in the wild. So we'll just leave it just like this. Less work for me and good for them. Alrighty. Look at all this meat that would be wasted. I'm so excited to repurpose it and give it to some owls that will appreciate it. Get a couple bags on it. All right, last but not least, we have this donated elk meat. Isn't it so amazing? This is going to be awesome for training. So I don't know if you guys know this, but in falconry, the way that you always will train the birds of prey is you need to drop their weight, and when they fly to you, you incentivize them with a piece of meat. So this is great training meat. We'll be able to cut it up and take it with us when we are training different birds of prey. So we're gonna put this in some freezer bags and get this off. See, there's even like this connective tissue. See how tight that is? That is actually what is considered a tiring in falconry. See how hard that is? That's basically like a dog chewing on a bone. That's like the falcons and hawks and eagles. We'll be pulling at this, and it's a tiring. It gets out their aggression. It's good for them. So we'll be doing that, and then we also will be storing up some rats and mice. It's going to be a great day. I think we were very successful in getting a lot of meat for the birds of prey. I love it. So thank you so much for coming along. Today was a great and successful day. We got a lot of meat packed up, and I know it's going to go to a great cause. We're going to be showing you some awesome things coming up. I'm going to give you a little bit of a teaser. So I was able to get my trapping permit in falconry over the weekend. So we're going to be doing some trapping, and you'll have to see which bird I'm going to trap. I'm going to train it and show you guys the process of falconry. So come along. You really want to subscribe and go to my page. You're going to see longer things that we're going to do. We're actually going out and hunting with the falconers. It's so cool when you guys see these gyr falcons and gyr peregrines that land on these ducks. They do head kill shots, and they do what they naturally do in the wild. We'll capture it on film and bring it to you guys. So we're doing lots and lots of adventurous things. So subscribe, tell your friends, and come along for lots of fun adventure.